over to Dynamite. So we had, starting off, I am so glad MJF is back, dude. I'm so glad. MJF's presence, like, it like gives it life again. I don't know. Dynamite was feeling a little iffy for a bit, but MJF just being there, like every time he comes out, the crowd fucking pops. He is, seeing him in action now, he looked so like, he looked on top of his game, you know?
He looked good, for sure. I loved having him back. I'm gonna be grumpy, and I'm gonna say I am worried. I loved this match. They did a good job of hyping it up, but at the same time, I was just thinking about like how Roosh just kind of appeared out of nowhere, and they're just kind of like they fed him to MJF, and then now they're feeding this other CMLL guy to him.
So they did that, but then later on, him and Will Ospreay had a stare down.
So he had his match with Roosh.
Yes.
They fed Roosh to him. Cage of Agony, Gates of Agony, whatever they are, show up. And then they're like, hey, here's our friend from CMLL, Mr. Masked Man, Hichichiro. And at that point, I'm like, where's this going? Why should I care about this kind of thing? And then Daniel Garcia has his match. And then they all attack him after Cage of Agony and then Masked Man.
Yeah.
And then MJF is like, hey, that's the guy that made fun of me earlier. Yeah. And then he comes out and beats them up. And then what followed after that was a little bit of a, once everything kind of settled down, Will Ospreay, you know, coming to save the day and whatnot and fucking flying around the ring.
Yeah. And both of them, so they work together a little bit.
They work together a little bit, and then the dust settles, and then they have their face off. You also have Daniel Garcia, who's sitting there in the corner, and he's trying to build his way back up to the international title. So here's I have a lot of problems with this.
Yes, I do too.
I have a problem with MJF being fed, like, it's so good to have him back in wrestling. I love watching him wrestle, but he's being fed seemingly random opponents that don't really have anything to do with the main story, which I don't really know what the main story is right now.
I don't think there is one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Cage of Agony was a nice like vehicle for us to get to where we are in the span of like an hour. And then we have the face-off with Will Ospreay. So then it's like, okay, Will Ospreay and MJF feud for the international title. Great. But Will Ospreay is also feuding for the world title. And then Daniel Garcia also wants the international championship. Yeah. And now some people are saying, oh, what if MJF becomes international champion? Which I guess is okay. A lot is just like interconnected.
Yeah.
And I feel like every week I'm expecting it to clear up a little bit more.
And it doesn't.
For every time it does clear up a little more, it like it's like one step forward, like 3 steps back kind of thing.
Yeah.
What do you make of all this?
It's a fucking mess. And MJF coming back, like, you had him come back at Double or Nothing, and he's like, I'm putting everyone on notice. I'm here to fuck shit up. I'm here to get my belt back. That's literally what he said. And then he beat up Adam Cole, right? So, number one,
yeah,
where's Adam Cole?
He still can't walk.
He was walking at Double or Nothing.
I think he's not 100% yet, obviously.
Well, sure, but here's the thing. CM Punk hasn't wrestled since the Royal Rumble. And you have these two charismatic guys who have built up this incredible feud without them wrestling each other. Adam Cole is fucked up. MJF just came back. They're both charismatic as fuck. I'm sure they could build a feud. Do the same thing. Copy WWE, bro.
Yeah. Well, like, I wonder if, too, they don't want to outright copy WWE.
Sure, but
also, like, it's not like an original concept by WWE to build up a feud without fighting each other.
But also, you have the story to back it up. Everything that happened last year. Build it up with MJF and Adam Cole. Revisit it.
They literally did like a whole summer of just vignettes without having matches when they were a tag team.
Do it again. Like, I'm wondering too if it's like MJF is back and they're feeding him these guys as like a warm up, but I'm assuming he doesn't. He's probably warming up and practicing outside of the matches, and he also doesn't need it. He doesn't need a warm up.
He doesn't need to go over that much.
Yeah, he is their star. MJF is the star of AEW.
Well, it's like Joe Hendry. Nobody watches TNA, but everyone knows who Joe Hendry is.
Right. Fucking do something big with MJF because you need it, and it'll bring up the show again. And I'm not saying feed the title to him from Swerve. Don't just make Swerve a transitional random champion. Put him in a feud that matters with somebody. Fucking put him up against Christian.
Two big fucking names.
Two big names, dude. Like, I don't know. It's not working.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are like, is MJF going to win the international championship? I don't think that's going to happen.
I also don't want him to. I don't think he doesn't need that.
Every week, I don't know. I was like, yes, this is the episode where he has his first match back, and it's going to be so good, and it was. But now what?
Yeah, that's what they're struggling with, and I don't even think they know what.
I'm like convinced they don't know what, because it's just such a mess. Yeah. It's like, okay, Forbidden Door is in a week. Will Ospreay spoken for. Who's MJF facing? Is Will Ospreay going to pull double duty? Is he going to face MJF or Daniel Garcia if he is pulling double duty? If he's not pulling double duty, what is MJF doing? Also, what is Daniel Garcia doing? Are they going to have a match? Like,
yeah. Also,
or is he fighting Roosh? I don't know.
Adding into this, on Collision on Saturday, Will Ospreay is defending against Brian Cage. They had a backstage segment.
Like, I get it, like, because he attacked Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
But, like, why? Okay.
Brian Cage was all pissed off.
Why are we rewarding terrible behavior with title matches? First, it's like me giving my dog a treat for pissing on the floor. You know, I caught Nestor. Nestor pissed in our bedroom this morning on the wall. He like pissed on the wall. Yeah. And then afterwards he was like, I'm such a little cute little cat and you're going to feed me. It's like obviously cats can't be disciplined. Not the fucking point. So giving him a treat when they're not being good. He doesn't need a title match. We know he's going to lose. Like, if you're going to do a title match, have it be a believable opponent. At least more believable than Brian Cage. What is giving him a title match do for what does it do for Brian Cage?
This is the second title match.
What is it? No, hang on. What does it do for Brian Cage?
Yeah.
What does it do for Daniel Garcia, who, frankly, should be ahead of Brian Cage in line?
Yeah.
What does it do for his thing with Swerve? We're in too deep now.
Literally
we're in
nothing.
Too deep, and none of it is just gonna make sense.
This is the second title match in a row that Will Ospreay has been in, where a guy walked up and said, "I'm mad," and it was like, okay, you can have a title match against Will. The second one in a row.
He hasn't even been champion for a month.
I know.
If there is anyone listening to this, and you think this is like, and I don't want this to be misconstrued. I love AEW and I love Will Ospreay and I love MJF.
Yeah.
And I love fucking Swerve and I love Daniel Garcia. Brian Cage is okay. I want you to tell me how this is good and how this all is gonna make sense in the end, because I don't see it right now, and
I don't either.
And you made a really good point with like they've been able to. When MJF came back, Adam Cole versus MJF is what everybody wanted to see. Because there's just unfinished business. We all know that, and we're going to get that, and I think we're probably going to get it more towards Wembley, honestly. But they could still fucking build it. Like, Punk got injured in January. It's June now. They've been building that since 5 months.
Yeah.
We have about 2 months until Wembley. Easy.
But they're not.
Do it. Like, we got one guy over here but then he's also over here, and then that guy's with both of these guys, and then everyone's got their wires all crossed. And look at your fucking body language, dude. Look at you right now. You're like,
eventually Adam Cole's gonna come back like a month and a half from now, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, Wembley!" But we don't want it a month and a half from now. We wanted it 2 weeks ago.
I think it's too late for it to. Like, I don't want to say it's too late. It's gonna be cool if it happens, but like, don't bring Adam Cole back as a means to bring MJF back. MJF could have shown up without Adam Cole being there. I understand the logic behind like Adam Cole being back as a means to bring MJF back. Yeah. Because again, if you do that, you're giving people the false promise of something, and they're gonna think it's gonna happen very soon. And we haven't seen Adam Cole since. Yeah. So
on any show. Nothing.
All right, we're like talking in circles here at this point, but like
we are. But again, we love AEW. We literally watch the show every week, and we are going to continue to do so. But as it is that we talk about every single week, there are problems. And but there's also good stuff. There's good stuff too. It just
also MJF is facing the Masked Man at Forbidden Door.
That's his Forbidden Door match?
Hachishiro, yeah.
I hope it's a squash.
I'm sure it'll be good, but like, what happens, you know?
Yeah. Where does it go from there?
What's the difference maker here?